My name is Professor George Huff, and I'm in my 15th year at Cedarville University. I happen to teach in the social work program here on campus. This past summer, I had summer school responsibilities, and in the course of teaching classes over the summer, sometimes I would take a break from that, and I would ride my bike, which I enjoy, or go for a walk, or water ski, because we live here at the lake. And so it would not be unusual for me to be out and about, whether that's a break from summer school or just going over to campus and fulfilling my commitments there. And it was just a pretty day when I chose to go over to Cedarville. I had an informal meeting at that time. I thought, boy, what a nice day to just get on my bike and enjoy the ride over. Off I went and planned my day. And it was on the way home that on old Route 35 that out of nowhere, this pickup truck came alongside of me, brushed me, side-swiped me, and what we understand may have occurred is that it's his mirrors that came up behind me at 55 miles an hour and took me out. And what I mean by that is that when those mirrors struck the back of my rib cage, the back side of me, I was pole vaulted in the air. From there on out, it was all dark. I remember only voices.
New tonight, a 62-year-old cyclist is recovering after being hit by a truck while riding in Jamestown. State troopers say he was biking on Old Route 35 when the truck started passing him, and then he clipped the man with the vehicle's side mirror. The man fell off his bike, but fortunately he was wearing a helmet.
And so I was thrown into what I believe was a soybean cornfield ditch, and that's where I lay. I was totally helpless. I wanted to get up, but I couldn't. I wanted to cry out, but I wasn't able to. And so there I laid. In my thinking, I thought that I would in no way ever have come out of that ditch and survived that. Obviously, that wasn't his plan for me at that point in time. There were two times when I thought I was going to pass away. One of them was when I was there in the ditch. I thought I would never make it, so to speak, out of that situation. It just shocked me to think that I ended up in the emergency room at Miami Valley Hospital. Well, I broke my wrist, my left wrist. I have a significant gouge on my arm here that bled pretty profusely. I have broken ribs on the left side of my body and in the back. I had a broken bone in my leg. We thought that my left foot was broken, but that has proven not to be the case, though it does swell, and we have to watch that. And of course, what was also significant is that they opened me up from my chest to my groin and took out my spleen when it failed. And see, when I went into the emergency room, they determined that my spleen, between 1 and 5 being the worst, mine was a 4. And so they had determined that they needed to do a procedure to see if they could salvage my spleen, which they did right away. But yet a week later it failed. So in the failure of my spleen, what occurred was the fact that my stomach had filled up with 2.5 liters of blood. And so I had this excruciating pain from having all that blood in my stomach, and I thought I would never, ever see life after that surgery. So I say to you, I'm 0-2 in actually being able to predict when I'm going to go home with the Lord. So again, he knows what he's doing in our lives because he is the one who sustains us in all things. And so again, we come to rest in him. To encourage you is to realize that it's not just when you're not hit by the pickup truck, and we all have a tendency to give thanks to him for that. But what about the times when we are hit by the pickup truck? And we all know that those kinds of situations come into our lives. Can we give thanks? And I want to give testimony today that we can. Having the opportunity to talk to people about my accident, I want to always give it an eternal perspective because that's my hope. And in doing so, I want to be able to point them to the author and finisher of our faith by making it known to them that that's their anchor, that's their answer, and that he will never leave you nor forsake you, and that his grace is sufficient for when you're hit by the pickup truck and when you're not hit by the pickup truck. His grace is sufficient, and he will see you through that because he does all things good and well in your life. You may not be hit by a pickup truck in your life, but you are going to have trials in your life. They may not be physical like what I experienced, but they may be emotional or spiritual. But believe me, you as a Christian are going to have trials in your life because we are called to a life of suffering for his name. So I just want to encourage you when that trial comes along to certainly have an eternal perspective on what the Lord's doing in your life. I want you to know that I try, it's not always easy, to rejoice in all things, in prayer, and in everything give thanks. Because I know what he's doing in my life is for my good and his glory. And I happen to believe that with all my heart, and I would want that to be of encouragement to you today. So I wish you and yours a blessed Thanksgiving. Remember to, in everything, give thanks, for he is good. Thank you very much.